a harbor of sadness I can't shake. Avoiding what's burning, walking the safer path, and the wheels they just keep on turning. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. We struggle jaded in the cold every day. Why is it so hard to let love unfold and stay? Humming the same song, never writing the words, and our wheels they keep on turning. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. Why don't we feel it embracing us?
Stay muted, stay feeling. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay muted, stay feeling. It's BV, it's BV, BV, it's BV, it's BV, it's BV, it's BV, it's BV.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it, and that yeah, underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action, 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 action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in for another Friday night edition. It's Friday. It is Friday, and it is Friday the 13th. Happy December, Friday the 13th, 2024. Our last, well, it's our last December 13th of 2024. It's our last Friday the 13th of 2024. We don't get too many of those each year, but hey, it's a Friday, and we are here in what is most likely going to be our final episode of 2024. I tried to take a week or two off to round out the year, get things ready for the beginning of the year, do a little bit of revamping and some reconnoitering, removing around of some things within the show so that 2025 will have a nice, I don't want to say clean and fresh because we just did a little bit of an upgrade or a little bit of a change up at 5 years a few months back. But yeah, so we're gonna do maybe move around a few things. We're gonna mess around with maybe some of the order. I don't know what for sure, but we're gonna have some fun. But thank you guys for being here. It is again Friday the 13th, December 2024, and you know what? This is episode 235. 235. And I've decided that tonight I'm just going to be drinking unleaded. Unleaded Coke Zero. At least for now. At least for now. So what to do? What to do? Well, let me first express my sincere disappointment in so many of you. my not all of you, but some of you, many of you out there. At last check, and I will check this here live for us all, just so I can make sure that my estimation here is accurate as to what it could have been, what it could have been. So as I look ahead and I look back at my posts that I sent out yesterday, first of all, and then again this afternoon, where I said, hey, I asked a few questions of the listening audience. And I said, what is your favorite Christmas gift you've ever received? What is your favorite gift that you've ever given? And what is something that maybe you've come across in the last, year or so that you think would be a really cool gift that everybody needs to have, or something cool that you just found, some tech thing or some other thing that's not tech thing that you think would be a really cool gift to give, or that you think would be a really cool thing to have, but you don't have it maybe, and that kind of a thing. So we can share the news 2 weeks out, so that if somebody sees something that they like or hears about something that they like, maybe they can have time to get on it and get Amazon and whatever else, to see if they can find it. So as I say that, I had at least like 35 to 40 people that viewed the story where I mentioned that, and only one, only one, Mr. Dapper Dan, thank you, really responded to anything, any of my questions, where I said, hey, I've always said I want this to be a give and take, a little bit of give and take here. And, it's, I don't want to just sit here and talk and talk and talk. I want to have like an interaction, right? I want to be able for some of you to, we'll talk things through. And, if it's something that you like, that you can share and I can find it and share a picture of or something like that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. I have a few things that I'm going to share. Some rather dumb and trinkety little things, but otherwise kind of cool things that I came across in the last year. So, that I thought would be kind of cool to mention in case anybody's out there looking for something that's kind of odd or different or unique. I have a few of those, but yeah. So what gives? What gives? Disappointed in you. All right. Well, first of all, let's say hi to the people that are here with us. We have just a handful of people in here, literally, I think, hanging out with us tonight live. And if I can find my mouse, there we go. Hanging out with us here tonight, we've got Lurch. Heyo! How you doing, Lurch? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Mr. Rubba. Mr. Rubba on the road. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good morning to you, good sir. Good morning to you, good sir. Buddy's also hanging out with us. Hey, all. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're in this weird time of year where it seems like I haven't seen a lot of people for a while. And I know that's not the case, because we just had our event not too long back and we had a bunch of people here for it. But and I've done some travels. I had the nice long road trip with Rob earlier this year, but it still seems like it's been a long time, much longer than the 5 months that it's really been since I got to see Rob. Baker, what's up? He says, hello there. Hello there. How you doing? How you doing? Rob, I'm sorry that you don't celebrate the socially enforced seasonal gifting period. I have kids and I therefore have to. And I take advantage of that opportunity to gift things from the wife to me as well. Amazon's a wonderful thing. But I also it's fun to see if you can find something unique or cool to give the loved ones in your life too. And there's so many of those weird oddity type of things out there anymore under the sun. So yeah. But thank you guys, those of you who are here hanging out with me on this Friday night, Friday the 13th. Hey, look at that. Kyle's hanging out with us as well. Kyle jumped in and says, "Hey, everyone, another night at work. Yeah, got to get that bread, got to get that dough, make that money. Christmas is coming up. I get you, man. I get you. Good to see you here. It's good that you have a position or a job where you're able to just hang out with us for a little bit on a night like tonight. So, yeah. But hey, so I've got a few things to mention. If you are here with us live tonight and you want me to at least mention any kind of merch that you guys have going on right now that I may not already have listed, feel free to dump the information into the chat, and I'll bring it up here at least for the listening audience, and then for the audio audience after the fact, we could have at least a mention of it. I do have a few things that I've come across or that somebody sent me or something like that recently, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. There's a few different chapters out there doing like toy drives and things like that right now, which is great. And then we've got a few that have just wrapped up some toy drives just because of the timeliness of it, and they have to be able to get stuff, and so they're not accepting anything else right now. But if you know anybody who is doing an active toy drive right now that they need some help with, just let me know, and we'll see if we can get the word out and maybe get a $5 or something like that, at least something else tossed your way. But without further ado, I do have a couple of things that I want to mention. I do want to say a hearty congratulations. This just came across the interwebs just a few hours ago. I saw as I was wrapping up my workday and doing some background stuff doing some stuff for the show here, and came across this little ditty here that one of our newest chapters in BV has released a logo and an X Factor. So yeah, Lakeland down in Florida has released their new chapter logo. Bada boom, there it is. Bearded Villains Lakeland. Very striking, very cool. I like it. It's very bold. 'Tis very bold. But yeah, that's a very, very cool one. And then the super bold X Factor that they got. A boom! BV Lakeland. With the anchor and the big fatty X, the big fat X BVL, BV Lakeland. There it is. Congratulations, guys, on a new X Factor, on a new logo for a new chapter. Good to see it. That's all I had to share with that right now. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but that was the only news that I had as far as new chapter stuff goes. But I do have some chapter merch that I do want to cover as well. So let's jump over into that for some chapter merch stuff. What do we have here? Well, yesterday, was it yesterday? No, today's Friday. So 2 days ago now, it's been 48 hours and we still have some. Yes, I'm talking about the patch collaboration with Bearded Villains. With Bearded Villains, we are the first chapter to receive and have them out for sale. I don't know how many chapters are doing this. There's just a handful, I think, right now that agreed or at least have these out. And I don't know if there's going to be more made, other chapters made, or what. But the way this worked was that Von Knox reached out and said which chapters might want to do this collab with BV, where where BV home base BV, and Von Knox went ahead and created these patches and then donated the patches to our chapter and to the other chapters that were interested in doing this at no cost to the chapter, which was pretty cool. And then the idea was that we have to guarantee is that we will sell them for X dollars, so that the proceeds then come back to our individual communities. And that's a pretty cool thing. That's a pretty cool thing. So what the idea is, these sock patches, there's only 100 made for each one of the chapters that that agreed to do this, right? So each one of the chapters that did this, there's 100 patches made. And so we have 100 of these patches that say Northern Indiana and Bearded Villains on them. And so we will sell out once we sell all of these things. We're we're well on our way, as you can well imagine, being numbered limited edition, one-time printing of these patches. And the cool thing is that we will then, since these are sock patches, we will then take the proceeds from all of the sales of these patches, then to turn around and get socks for those in need in our own communities. So, yeah, every chapter that decided to do this is going to be able to turn back around, use all the proceeds from these sock patches to give out socks in their own communities. So I think that's a really cool thing. So thank you very much to Bearded Villains, and we are well on our way. So if you are interested in getting one of these, if you like to collect limited patches, things that won't be available again, won't be made again, all that stuff, if you like to collect sets, then you definitely want ours, because ours is the first one out there right now. It's the only one for sale right now. And if you like to collect sets, then this is the first one the one you want, right? And start off your patch set collection of all the socks patches. So, yeah, hit us up, bvnorthernindiana.org. They are available and live right now for $15. And they go to, it's a global homeless outreach. And all the proceeds again go to getting socks in the hands of the people that need it, or on the feet of the people that need it in our community. So thank you. That's a very cool thing. Again, bvnorthernindiana.org, where you can find that. Next up, I don't know that these are sold out yet. I didn't even check. I didn't have time to check. But if you like them, and because they're really cool, I've been talking about these things, feels like for 2 months now, at least. But they're so cool. That's why I love them. I love these clean patches that they did with South Mississippi. Hit up the boys of South Mississippi. They were very limited at one time, so I don't know if they're already sold out or not. If they are, I apologize. I'm just teasing you with something you can't have. So I apologize for that. Idaho just released their Santa's Toy Box patch, and there were only 50 of these made. So these are coming out this time of year for charity purposes. Santa's Toy Box, only 50 made. I have no idea how many are left, if there are still any left. Again, if you like to collect patches that are in limited run, limited issue, definitely want to grab one of these and help the Idaho boys out there with their charity efforts this time of year. So hit up the Idaho chapter, the Idaho Villains, and see what you can do. See if there's still some of those available to grab one. Be one of 50 people to own one, or less if people have more than one. But also, we have Richmond. Richmond I don't know all the details on this, but they have these condiment. It's a condiment patch set that has a patch and a pin, and I'm not exactly sure. I know it's going to charity. The proceeds of this are going to charity. I don't have the name of the charity in hand right now. I don't know if Anthony, if you're listening right now, if you can share for everybody, put it in the chat where these are going. The proceeds are going, if you happen to know. But I know they're going to charity, so I wanted to make sure I get these out. But a very, very cool thing that they're doing with this this set. It's a patch and a pin set, but very, very cool. So that is Richmond. And then we also have, let's see here. I think I've got one from Smoky Mountain as well. Smoky Mountain has their new shirt out that's going to benefit the Isaiah 117 house that they do a lot of charity stuff with. So, yeah, hit up. Very, very cool. It has a big bear standing in front of a door, and it says, "All are loved here." Their big bear. It's their chapter mascot standing in front of a small child. Very, very cool thing. It says, "All are loved here." Very cool shirt. Hit up Smoky Mountain to grab one of them. Grab one of them things. Anthony says that the pin and patch set is a combo set, or it's a collaboration, it looks like, between Richmond and Nova, which makes sense because I see two different X Factors on there now that I look at it closely. Uh, yeah. So, yeah. So it's a collab between Richmond and Nova. So get over there and grab one of them things for sure. And then, like I said, back to this, all are loved. Very cool shirt. The meaning behind this is perfect for what Isaiah the Isaiah House does. And they've been collabing with them for a long time now. So help the Smoky Mountain Boys out with these shirts. Everybody needs a new black shirt, right? So definitely go out and grab one of those and help them out. And then I also want to say I don't have any specific imagery for this because from what I've seen, I've only come across videos of it. But I know that up in Canada, there's 2 chapters that have recently updated their stores and have some new merch out right now. Alberta, BV Alberta has some new stuff out that they just sent out a big video with all sorts of new stuff coming out from them. And then also BV Lakeshore. Once again, BV Lakeshore, who's always putting out some really cool merch, they also have some new items on their web store right now as well. So always up north, those boys are always doing some stuff for charity. So for their charity efforts as well. So if you want to get some cool, very unique items and clothing that you don't get everywhere else, they have access to some things. They have access to some clothing items and things that we don't seem to have access to with our web stores that are basically run by almost the same parent companies. But because they're Canada, apparently they have access to some cooler stuff than we do down here. So I don't know. I can't explain that. In any event, so that's that. That's all the stuff. All right. So as I said, I'm going to take you know what? Let's take a second and let's hear a word from one of our sponsors that jumped aboard this year and we love partnering with, the Bigfoot. Whether you're navigating the rugged terrain of the great outdoors or conquering the concrete jungle of the urban landscape, Bigfoot Beard Company has you covered. Bigfoot products are made with natural ingredients designed to help maintain a healthy, rich beard without leaving it feeling greasy and heavy. From classic cologne-inspired fragrances to fruity notes and earthy tones, there's sure to be a scent for every occasion. With worldwide shipping available, why not take an opportunity to walk on the wild side? Head over to Bigfoot Beard Company today. That's www.bigfootbeardco.com. Again, that's www.bigfootbeardco.com. All right. Well, there we go. There we have it. Very cool stuff. Yeah, Bigfoot, they've just done a huge revamp of some stuff out there. They've got new packaging, they've got new items, new merch out there. So I hope to be able to get some photos. I'm gonna be hitting you up, Rob, so that I can get some photos and some stuff, and maybe have you record a couple short little videos, product videos for me, so I can throw those up here on the podcast too, so we can do things a little bit more professional on this end. For sure. All right. So I'll read this to you. Anthony just shared this with me regarding those pins, the collab set. It says, introducing the Condiment Crew collab. This is a limited run of 100. Okay, so they're only 100. So again, limited, if you like the limited stuff, right? Benefiting a great local charity, Northern Virginia Family Services. Northern Virginia Family Services is who it's benefiting. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Really cool to get a set that's a patch and a pin. There's a handful of chapters that have started doing those types of things out there that I love because it's unique and gives you a chance to either collect the patch, keep the patch, put the patch on something else, but you also get the pin. So you can put the pin on your hat, on your shirt, on your coat, on your jacket, on your hat, whatever it is. You can put your pins and your hats and your patches and your whatever you want to do. It's all good. It's all good. So thank you, Anthony, for giving that information on that. Very cool. All right. So my question, and as I look at the clock right now, we're 20-ish minutes into the show. So we're probably going to be a little shorter tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a Friday night. We want to get you out there, let you have your night. So I hit you out there. I hit you up. And see, you know what's funny is I told you already how disappointed I was in all of you for not helping me out, not giving me some answers that I had online, and that only one person really had. And then, I said that like 15 minutes ago, right? And still, even in the chat, the people that are here live with me haven't even put anything in there, haven't get any ideas. So it's okay. It's okay. We're just gonna make it work. But anyway, so I did want to share. One of our brothers had a really, really good answer to one of my questions that I had, and so that was when I asked. The question was your favorite Christmas or Hanukkah gift that you've given. Your favorite Christmas or Hanukkah gift that you have given. And his answer was, well, let's do the received first. Okay. Favorite that you've received. So he says, not a gift, but returning home from Afghanistan on Christmas Day to my family. Hey, I think that is a gift. Absolutely a gift. That's cool. I was thinking like, monetary items. The idiot and me, I wasn't thinking all touchy-feely, heartwarming, heartstrings moments, but very cool. That's going to top everything that I'm going to talk about, anything else that anybody else could probably talk about as well. Unless it's health related or specific family related. But yeah, returning home from Afghanistan on Christmas Day, you just can't really probably beat that at all. So yeah, I'll give that to you. And yeah, for sure. Let's see, what else did we get here? Let's see. We had the favorite given. For a favorite given, we have one of our friends, one of our buddies here says, our brother says our kid was 3, and let's see, my eyes are getting so bad. I don't want to have to put my glasses back on, but we'll see. I snuck away and made a welcome home or home welcome sign with our last name. She had no idea. We also say that could write mama and dad's. We made matching sweaters. Very cool. I'm just trying to read. Some of this doesn't look like it's a complete sentences. I apologize. Let me put on my old man glasses and figure out what my issue is here. Yes, they are podcast blue. Are my glasses? My old man readers here. They are podcast blue. Podcast colors blue. So one of our brothers says that regarding things that they're getting that they're giving this year. Not sure about everyone, but he says our kids are getting mini fridges. Ooh, well, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. Yeah. So he said I snuck away and made a home welcome sign. Our last name, she had no idea. In the same year, our kid was 3 and could write mama and dada, and we made matching sweaters. Very cool. Yeah. So those pretty much, those are the answers that I got to all those questions that I asked. So you all kind of failed me miserably. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I could really kind of when I start thinking about these things myself, I could think of it in a few different ways because gift kids, right? As a kid, there's always there's certain things that you love that you have special memories of as a kid, and for me, one of course, because we were never um, we were always big on having things or doing things that made you want to go out and do things. It wasn't like sit around types of stuff. And so I remember the first year that we actually got like the old Atari 2600. I'm dating myself, of course. Late 70s, early 80s kid. And I do remember playing Pong on the original Pong box, the singular box that had the 2 twisty dials on it. I do remember playing that growing up as a little kid too. But then I have pictures of me playing when I was really little, and when I say I must have been like 5, maybe younger than that even. But if you remember, there was a thing that came out in the late in the I want it actually came out probably much earlier, but in the 70s, it was a version of that gold game Toss Across, where it was a flat game that had the pivoting or the rotating little things. You threw a beanbag at it, and it would rotate over, it would flip over, and it was usually like a version of tic-tac-toe on these boards that you'd roll over and it would flip. And so, but it was a variation on that game, and it was a football field, and you scored points by how you where you threw the things. It was really cool. I loved that. And then my other one that I absolutely loved, and I played with that thing so many times, and I found new ways to play with it with other variations of it. Was if you remember, if you're a kid of the 70s or early 80s, you remember the football helmet kicker guy. You remember the football helmet kicker guy? As a kid, that was one of my favorite. I mean, I had Star Wars toys that I loved too, and when those like the supersized Star Wars toys came out, those were fun too. But for some reason, I always had a fondness for that little kicker helmet football guy, and he was the guy that stood completely upright, and he had this helmet on, and you pressed down on his helmet, and it made his foot kick. It made his foot kick the thing, and you had a little foam football, and it usually included like 3 or 4 of them, which you lost almost immediately right after. So I learned very quickly that you have to play in an open area that doesn't have any place for these footballs to hide. And but yeah, you'd push down, and the harder you'd push down on the head, or the quicker you'd push down on the head, the faster the little foot would kick out, and you could launch those things, man. And it had a little goalpost with it too, and it was, I mean, it's the dumbest thing, but it was the coolest thing at the same time. I absolutely loved that game. So yeah, that was one of my favorite things when I was growing up as a really little kid, for sure. Just a memory thing that I have, and it's a big memory stuck in my head, because there's a picture of it, of me with it that I have that I found like 20 years ago. So I've kept it ever since then. It was in my parents' house when I was packing up some stuff from college. I was going through some old stuff and found it, and yeah, but very, very fun. Okay, that was one of my favorite old things. I have a variety of old different things that I've given as gifts, but I want to take it. I want to pivot and take it to a different way. The worst thing that Santa gave our kids. Um, this was without a doubt. We still talk about the Christmas that was. If you've ever seen, you know how like how have you ever seen the movie The Christmas Story? How happy go lucky it was, and then it just got to a point where it was like everything went wrong, and on Christmas, and yeah, and then the turkey and everything else. It felt like that. It felt like that because you know we had to we had to we had to put together, as you know, if you're a parent, you know the danger of buying specific toys for kids, right? You know that there's a danger inherent in that, because what that means is you have to make a choice. Are you going to put the thing together the night before and stay up and do it so that it can be seen as is in all its glory first thing Christmas morning? Or are you going to wait and spend all day Christmas Day doing that thing and putting it together? You have a choice, right? And I've done both. I've done both. I've done the whole, I want the surprise to be opening the box of the thing, even though I know that there's a million pieces on this and there's 1,000 stickers that I'm going to have to put on there. I still want that huge box or whatever it is. I want that. I want to see the surprise when that's opened, when that's unwrapped, rather than have the thing out there ready to go. Well, this one year, and this goes back probably now about 15 years ago, maybe 10 years, between 10 and 15 probably years ago at least. And we thought it would be fun to get the kids one of those basketball hoop games, the indoor one that has the lane on it, that has the little basketball hoop, and then it has the canopy thing that comes down the side to catch the balls. They roll down and you shoot it, and you see it like arcades. It's a cheap version of what those things are at the arcade. So it has a metal frame, and it keeps score for you on the board, and you can have You know, it has the little mini basketballs on it. You know what I'm talking about. Well, you would think that that would be a fairly simple and straightforward item to put together. However, because of the way that the frames were made, and because of the absolutely atrocious foreign language instruction guide, and I didn't even think it was something I'd need the instruction guide for. I mean, you look at a picture, you see the pieces, and you're like, just make it fit, right? This thing has to go here. It bends this way. It looks like that in the picture, so it should go together. Nope. 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 What we found out pretty quickly was that the picture that was on the box and everything else was a slightly different design than the version of the one that we got. So that was problem number one. Problem number two was that it just didn't fit. The pieces didn't go together like they were supposed to. So I tried. I went online. I tried to do that whole rabbit hole thing where you go online and you. Now remember that times have changed so much now. Just in the last 5 years, 10 years at most. I mean, for sure, 10 years. There was a time when we had YouTube, but nobody had like instructional videos out there, right? And Google wasn't even Google that it is today, because Google's built up over the years. And there was a time where, you know, you couldn't really Google, as we say today, information. Now today, I could just type in the name of this item, the model number, and instructions, or something like that, and I'm going to probably find a video of somebody else struggling to put this thing together, but also saying this is how it goes together. You can do that for just about anything now. Well, this was 12 to 15 years ago ish. This was before all those videos, all that information was compiled. So I went online to what the limited resources of the day were. Couldn't find anything on it. Finally, I went out on Facebook, and it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was one of those, hey, just throwing this out there for any friends. Have you come across this item before and ever had to put it together? And half hour later, after what was 3 hours of attempting to put this thing together, a friend reached out and said, yes, I had to put that exact thing together last year, and it was terrible. And I had to wait for somebody else to tell me about it till the next morning. And so he said, what he said was, is that open the instructions, follow the instructions up to step 3, skip to step 8 or something like that. You had to skip like 5 steps and do step 8, 9, and 10. And then those 2 pieces then would finally fit together because of the bendiness and everything else like that. Otherwise, it wouldn't fit. And the instructions were so bad, you'd never known that. And so we finally got this thing together. I think we went to bed at 4:30 in the morning, 5, like an hour before the kids woke up. Yeah, that was a rough day, rough night, rough Christmas day. So yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the best present that we gave, but that was the absolute worst. And we have cautioned everybody anybody's ever thought about, talked about, or anything, stay away from that. Go enjoy it at the arcade if you want to, but do not buy one of those little basketball games for your kids. It's terrible to buy, terrible to deal with, terrible to put together. So yeah, that was that debacle. So, Dapper Dan's just joined us here just a little bit ago. So hey, Dapper, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I already gave a shout out. You missed it. Already gave a shout out to the new chapter logo, Chapter X Factor, by the way. Very cool. Loved it. Came across it this afternoon while I was doing some stuff. So I had to include it in the news segment of our show tonight. Yeah. So, and I also mentioned what you may have also sent to me earlier regarding the answer to the question, which, Dan, you were the only person. You were the only one that reached out. You were the only one that responded. Actually, I say that now, but I did have one other one that came in just before the show. So 2 people responded to all my questions. So, all right. So we're, yeah. All right. So we've reached the 35-ish minutes segment of our show. So I want to do is a couple of things. I want to just share a couple of items that I've come across in the last anywhere between the last few weeks to the last year or so that I thought were really cool. And some of them, most of you will think are probably kind of dumb, but I had not seen these before or not come across, or it's just a really good deal to hit somebody out to, look for it or something like that. So since we're 2 weeks out ish and maybe still can buy some things if you're interested in some things, depending on your pricing, and your locale and your availability. Hey, we'll just share a little, right? So I was updating this week, or not this week. I was updating this fall, my my what you might refer to as an EDC bag or EDC gear, updating some stuff, and I wanted to change things up a little bit in some ways. So I found to fit into another bag that I carry around with me a lot. I found this little, it's this little, I don't know, it's made by Viper Aid. It's a little EDC pouch, um, but very, very cool because it's tiny. It's made very well. It has a little Velcro spot on it if you like to put patches on it, which I didn't really want to do right now. But it zips open to reveal a whole bunch of options for you for things to put together in there. There's a whole bunch of these little EDC pouches out there under the sun that do a variety of different things and hold a various amount of things. But so but everything that's in this, I just came across in the last few months, um, just because I wanted to do a whole clean sweep and start with some new fresh stuff for this, and try some things out, see if I liked them or not. So inside here, I only right now have three things because they're kind of some of them are kind of bulky, but I wanted to share. I came across this multi tool that was very inexpensive but very well made, super highly rated on Amazon, and it's actually just made by Work Pro. This off-brand Work Pro. It's got a nice belt clip on it, and it's got your typical, opening with the pliers and whatnot. It's still a little bit tight, and then it's got the all the different knives, the scissors, and different things, kind of like your typical Gerber multi tool or something like that. That sometimes costs 4 or 5 times the amount of this thing here. But one of the things that I really liked about this one is some of these tools that you get here, especially the ones that have the pliers on them, they're not spring loaded, which kind of makes it a little bit cumbersome when you're trying to use them on anything. And some of the better quality ones are spring loaded. But for the price point here, for well under $30, to have a full size version of this with everything else that this thing offers, and it's done in several different colors, I just thought was very, very cool. And that it's spring loaded, so makes it much easier to grip and use the plier version of what you got to do. But there's all sorts of different your typical tools that are in there. So, but that was one thing that I came across, and I loved that. I love the price of it. So if you're coming across, you're looking for something, you don't need to spend the $75, $85 for the high end stuff. When just about you can get pretty much the same quality. So far, I've been really happy with it. So that's one thing that I came across to put in here. Another thing that I came across that I liked is I like to collect knives like some of you do, but not to the extent that some of you do. I'm more or less you know the weekender that collects knives, and there'll be a lot of times I'm not the guy that always has a knife on him either. But if I have my pack with me, I'll have one or two of them in there, my little shoulder bag. But I came across this one here. I was looking for deals. I was looking for things that I wasn't going to have to spend even 50 to 75 to $100 for. And so I came across this Schrade. I think that's how you pronounce it. Schrade, Schrade knife. And I like the fact that I like the reviews. Everything that I'm talking about here had really high reviews on it, and they were all in a decent price point. And I think this was even like around $30. But I like the fact that it has the easy flip out. That's not spring loaded. I think it's spring assisted though, so it doesn't matter. Kind of hard to see in the. I'm wearing a dark colored shirt with a dark colored hat and background and beard, but I like the fact that it locks in place very well. It's very well made, and It just opens obviously with just the flick of a finger, which I like. But the cool thing is it doesn't accidentally feel like it wants to open, which some of these do. Some of the ones that you flick with your wrist, that so you actually have to intentionally really feel like you're going to flip it open, which I like. So that was another one of the cool things that I found. Um, I think everybody needs to have a flashlight, right, of some sort. And unfortunately, they're cumbersome to carry around sometimes. So when I found this, I thought this was the coolest thing ever because there's a few different variations of these things out there. But I wanted something that was multi-use, right? And so I came across this little guy here, and this little thing, and I'm trying to remember who makes this. I got to use my old man glasses here for you. I'm probably losing viewers right now, but I don't care. If nothing else, I'm just making a documentary here on on some wares. It's made by Ace Beam. If you're interested in any of these things that I'm talking about, I'll send you links to them. Just hit me up directly. But what's really cool that I like about this is that it has a clip on it, obviously, that you can put on a hat that it'll point straight down, when you're shining down, so you can use it hands free. It also has a magnetic base on it, which I like, so you can stick it onto anything that has a magnet hold on it. So again, your hands free. It also clips into a head strap or a headband that comes with it, so you can wear it as a headlamp light as well. Um, it's rechargeable and it is very bright. I don't have it charged up right now too much, but it's super duper bright. And what I really liked about it was the battery that's inside it is the size of a AA battery, but the unit itself doesn't charge. You actually take the battery out, and the battery has a USB-C plug on the battery itself, and it charges that way. And the reason I say that I kind of like that is the off chance that you're going to be going out someplace and you're going to be going on a trip or something like that, you can actually buy a couple of those different batteries, charge them up, have them charged up, ready to go, and always have a battery ready to go. Whereas if some of these batteries, if they're rechargeable, they're great until they run out, but then you have to unplug them and charge them up. You have to plug them in and charge them up, and then they're dead to you for use. So I like the fact that if I want to, I can actually just pop in another one of the rechargeable batteries that I've prepared and charged it up. So that was a pretty cool thing, I thought. So that was my little tiny EDC pouch. So if you enjoy that, which you probably didn't, but I don't care. Something I found this year. Another knife that I found that's just an off-brand, which I really liked. I like the lightness of it. I'll send you this too if you're interested. But it's one of those that it has the push button on it, but the push button is the locking mechanism for it. But it's not a spring-loaded opening, but it's assisted. It's an assister, but if you push the button that's on it, it unlocks the locking mechanism. So you can lock it. You can put the blade back in. I'm not sure what the technical term for that is, but it's got the little button right there. So you push the button and it'll release the blade, but it won't flip up without your help. So very cool. If you're interested in knives, give me a shout. I'll show you what I got that one from. A couple of other things that I'd come across in the last year or so. And I know this is just dumb. This is a dumb part of the podcast. I've never done this before. So if you're bored, and I don't care. I'm just going through a few things. If you're a cigar smoker, and you're always on the hunt for a kind of a unique or fun lighter, I came across this guy here. It's made by Xifei, Xifei, Xifei. I don't know how you pronounce that name. But I thought this was really cool because I'm one of those that likes old-timey, trinkety looking things. And this thing has a really cool mechanism on it to open the top on it. And so it's got this little flipper switch here. And so when you open it up, it's got this little flipper. And it opens up the lid on it, but it also lights it at the same time when you press it all the way down. It'll open and activate the whole mechanism for you, which I thought was really, really cool. So there you go. But yeah. So, but you open it up, you can open it halfway if you want to, or you can launch it and get it going for you. So very, very cool feature. This thing was pretty inexpensive as well, but I just love I love the style. I love it's a hefty lighter as well. If you like to collect those. One of the things that I came across earlier, it's I've had it for a little while now, and some people are really big into action cameras. And so, one of the things that I really love about this one that I came across, it's the Insta 360, and there's a newer version of this that's out there now. But I love the Insta 360 for the fact that it's tiny. It has its own frame. You can put it on something if you want to. It has a flip out screen, like so many of the others that are fancy. You know, that have the ones that the one main company you hear of all the time. GoPro, I know, has these features on it as well. But one of the things that I do love about this one is that it affords you the opportunity to remove the camera from the base, and all you have is this little tiny camera now. And even though this camera is out and about, it's magnetic, so you can wear it, you can pin it on something, and then you can still view everything from this camera from the screen part, which I thought was a really cool feature. It was one of the first ones that I ever seen do that. And it was moderately priced, which I really love too. And the other cool thing is there's a bunch of different viewing angles that are predetermined that you can set up in here so that you can have it set and with all the same variety of viewing angles that you see on all the other makes and models of these things that might be more expensive. But the Insta 360 Go 3, love it. Love it. Very cool. All right. So the final thing that I'm going to mention, and then I'm just going to, because this just feels dumb to me. It feels weird to me to do all this stuff, this product stuff. Actually, there's two things. There's two things. Are you one of those guys that collects a bunch of junk in their wallet? Are you one of those Fred Costanza guys that always has that thick leather wallet that's always all over the place that, you know, you just collect a whole bunch of crap in it? I was that guy for a long, long, long time. And I found this wallet online earlier this year, and I've absolutely fallen in love with this thing. I love the minimal nature of it. And there's a couple different variations of this from a few different companies that always talk about, that theirs is the best. Of course, everybody's going to say that. But one of the things that I love about this wallet, which is made by Code 118, is that it's lifetime warranty, number one. That's awesome. I love the lifetime warranty on it. So if it breaks, if it gets smashed, which they roll trucks over this thing and it never, but it's made from aluminum, or the hard grade aluminum stuff that I don't know what the technical term what they call it, but it's an aluminum variation. So it won't die, but it's got a mechanism in there that's a trigger mechanism in there at the very bottom of it, which there you go, you can see. And there's a few different variations of these things out there that do different. Some of them push up, but this you can just use the trigger on the pinky side of my finger, and it pops up, and it'll pop. This specific one will hold up to I think 7 different cards, which is all I need. And the cool thing is they don't shake, they don't fall out. You can shake it to death, they won't fall out. Um, and they're always there. And it doesn't matter if you only have 4, if you have 3, even if you have 2, they all stay in there secured. And then you just pull out the one that you need. Very, very cool. But what I also love is if you like the feel of having a leather wallet, they actually have a cover for this. If you don't want to, if you want to have a little bit. So I have the cover here, and all this does is slide down in the cover, which actually gives you a few more things. It gives you a little spot for maybe some cash if you want, and something else over here on this side. You could put some more cards in here if you want to. It holds additional cards as well. But I love the fact that it's so practical, and so I've got this wallet here now, and down here. Whoops, put it in backwards. Um, but this thing just slides, and you can, if you're one of those that doesn't like to sit on your wallet all the time, this thing fits so perfectly in my front pocket. Half the time, I don't even know I have it. But just in case you're also one of those that lose things, I also now have in here with this a tracker card right here with it. So kind of like the Apple AirTags, I have a little tracker card in here that I have that's registered with my phone, and it'll actually tell me if I go a distance away from this automatically. It actually alerts me that says your wallet is still over XYZ. So I thought that was pretty cool too. So if you misplace this, the other cool thing is too that it plays a sound. The little tracker card that I put in here. and I can actually play a sound on my phone, and it does vice versa as well. So very fun, very cool. Look how tiny this thing is. If you're a big wallet person, this is a very cool minimal way to go. And I like the fact that they're inexpensive. These wallets start at like $30 for this, and they go up based off of what you want to do with it. They have some that are AirTag. They have one that's glow in the dark. They have AirTag holders for this. They have a variation of this, that the metal version that will actually attach to your phone. If you have one of those MagSafe phones, it'll attach to the back of your phone like that. So yeah, all sorts of different things. But I love the trigger mechanism on this because it's just so easy you just walk up. There's your card, pull your card out, whatever you need, push it back in, and it's done. So very cool. All right, last thing that I come across, and this I just treated myself to. This is something I just bought myself. I had some money that was given to me for my birthday back in November, and I came across this guy. I'd seen pictures, the commercials for it for a while, and my wife kind of laughed at it when I got this thing. I'll tell you why. But you all know that I love the bourbon, right? I love bourbon. And any chance that I can to take a flask with me just for fun, I'm going to do it, right? But what's the typical problem with having a flask, right? It's the number one, it's filling it. You almost every flask out there, you need some fancy funnel or just a very steady hand to pour it in there. And then there's the cleaning part of it. Is it a pain in the butt to clean? Most likely, yeah, if it's a traditional flask. Well, I came across this company, High Camp Flasks. High Camp Flasks. And they have a few different variations of this, but this is a torch flask. It's a 9-ounce torch flask. And I had to save it in the packaging too because the packaging itself is cool. So they've got this magnetized box that it comes with. Presentation I love. I love it when you have something that they actually put quality and time and consideration into the presentation when you get something. So then we have a microfiber of all things cloth cover for this flask. All right. And so it's basically the size of one of those tiny compact umbrellas, but it's a 9-ounce flask. And so what's cool about it is there you go. And it comes in a few different colors, but it's the torch flask. And the cool thing about this is the top of it is basically a shot glass that's magnetized on the top. So it's magnetized. So you can use that as your shot glass if you want. The top opening has a screw point on it that pulls in and it holds everything sealed tight on it to open it. But here's the kicker. To fill it, what do you got to do? To fill it, all you got to do is turn it upside down and the whole base unscrews. And so this whole base unscrews and there you go. You can fill it like a regular glass. It's so wide. It's such a wide mouth, which also means to clean it, it's so much easier when you clean it. So the reviews on this thing were nuts. People love this thing that have had it. And so I just had to grab one of these things because so cool. This is smaller than most water bottles. So it'll fit on any pack that you have. It'll fit in a bag that you have if you want to. You don't have to keep it in the microfiber cloth bag that it comes with, but you can if you want to protect this aluminum. But it's like double walled. So what I laugh at though is that I showed it to my wife. I said, "You're gonna laugh, but this is a really cool thing that I love, and I wanted to get it." And so I showed it to her, and she looks at me kind of strange, and she goes, "So it's a thermos?" And I'm like, "No, it's a flask. It's a." And she goes, "No, it's a thermos. It's the same thing as the thermos." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, you think about it for a few seconds. You're like, "Well, she's kind of got a point, but it's cool." This has the cool factor. It's like a torpedo 9-ounce flask. But yes, it's for all intents and purposes, it's a thermos. It's a small thermos, but and it'll keep things cool if you put a beverage in there to keep it cool. So very, very cool. I love it. It's fun. And so that's what I got for you. Those are the things that I came across that if you want to hit me up, I can give you some more details on some of those for this year. Most of that stuff you can still get it very quickly if you're interested in doing it for gifting season this year. All right, I've talked long enough, and I feel crazy for doing all those reviews because I never do those things. So, all right, yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. I've labored around long enough. It's after 8:00 Central Time here. I want you guys to go out there and have a good night. So, you know what? I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank everybody for being big supporters of this show, for everything that we've done, all the little struggles and the missteps that we've had this year with the show. You guys have been here for it, been here for me. I appreciate that. I can't say thank you enough. The times when I've not been around for a week or two or longer in some cases, I can't say enough thanks to you for being here and for listening and for being supportive of everything that I've done with this show. And so I push into next year, into 2025, and I'm excited about it. Excited to see where the world where things take us, and all the cool things that we're able to do. I've got some really fun ideas, I think. But hey, we never know, right? We never know. And I will say this: if this is the last time that I get to talk to you on the airwaves here for this year, I will say this: use the next 2 weeks to try and come up with your one word for the one word challenge. If you are a listener or a viewer or both, I want to see some submissions for our one word challenge for next year. So I will be posting on Instagram and Facebook, asking for some of those as the year comes down to the winding down point of the end of the year, so that we can share those and talk about them on our first episode of 2025. So if I get a wild hair up the butt and get excited about something or whatever else, I may jump on for a impromptu podcast version sometime in the next few weeks. But if not, this will be we'll see each other again once the new year kicks around. And we'll leave it at that. So thank you guys so much for everything and all your support. It's been a fun year. It's been a really fun year. So you know what it means. That's going to wrap it up. That's going to wrap up episode 235 and a 2024. Guys, I want to challenge you, as I always do every year, every week, every day, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. The most important words I always say to you, please remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Well, guys, have a great night. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the next couple of weeks with your family and friends. We'll see you back here 2025 for episode 236 and all the other stuff. Have a great night. Take care. Stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we